right, guys. All right, welcome back. We're now starting the lame talk part of the show. We're going to be covering non-DCL related topics and answering some questions from you guys. So, as usual, we have a couple of categories. We have the odd games, where we talk about different other games we play. We talk about silver screen, where we talk about TV and movie stuff. Some breaking news, and then some questions from you guys. So, first off, let's get into some games.
Before we get into anything, Doombox did have to depart. It is very late.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be the three of us.
Holding it down.
Yeah.
Yep.
And please avoid the spoiling because I don't like spoilers or trailer or whatever. Please.
Well, I mean, technically none of us have seen it yet, so.
Yeah, so we're
yeah, but I don't even see in the trailer for, let's say, I don't see that.
We won't talk too much about the trailers, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no.
So, in terms of games, so the three of us have all started playing Marvel Strike Force together, actually. So.
Yeah. Even Doombox is
and
with us.
Doombox even joined us recently.
Yeah.
All four of us. We all started playing Marvel Strike Force to all of hate mail chagrin. But we all started playing it as a way to just see how it competes, I guess, with DCL. But just to turn it over to you guys, what are your first impressions on the global release of Marvel Strike Force? So, Ogre, you first.
Okay, so there's been a lot of backlash from the community about how the release happened, and people getting thrown in with the beta players, and the beta players not getting reset.
Hi,
I'm
a beta
whatever. I don't care. I don't know why people are bitching about that, but
it was the same for DCL.
I don't care.
It was the same for DCL.
No, I know. It was the same as DCL.
Yeah.
And it's the same as any other game, as far as I know. They say, oh, everybody gets reset at beta. No. And it's like, no.
I don't know where you're coming
Maybe in games like Call of Duty, but not strategy-based RPGs.
They said for MTG Arena that they'll be resetting it, but that's a sort of different game.
Different.
So, yeah, it's a very different game.
Yeah, it's a completely different thing. It's not the same vein, so you can't really compare it like that.
Yeah.
They're making comparisons that there are no parallels. So anyway,
with that drama aside,
aside from that, the game has promise, same as DCL. It's very, very, very similar in gameplay, very similar in how you design and create your teams and everything. So if you play DCL, you like DCL, you also love Marvel characters, you'll enjoy the game.
Yep.
Like, flat out. That's
if you have
a simple answer.
If you have no problem with seizures, because the game will give you seizures during the fight if you play at third speed.
Yes.
And because it's the only thing that I hate about that game.
Now, the irony about that situation is that I find this game better than DCL in terms of animations on regular speed. So it's one of those things where I'd rather play the game at regular speed rather than faster, just to watch things happen, because it looks really good. They put a lot of work into the animations and it looks great. It's really well animated, it's really well designed, and a lot of the criticisms when you compare Marvel Strike Force to DCL is the graphics quality. I guess you can compare them, but it's really on a different level, I think. So I will say that I think I like Marvel Strike Force for the way it's been drawn and animated. So I like that.
See, I disagree. I don't like the animation.
Oh, you don't?
On the character models.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with you there, because they look weird. They do look weird in terms of how they look.
They're a little bit cartoony.
Yeah.
But as far as the attack animations and stuff, yes,
that's what I meant.
Extra coolness of characters joining in on the attacks is pretty
right. I like the fact that they also zoom in for some attacks, like when Wolverine's doing his Berserker Barrage, like you see him like really go in and like manhandle someone. When Daredevil like comes in and does his like multi-chain attacks, you actually see like him moving from one person to the next. Like what people saw in the trailers of Captain America comboing with Iron Man. Like, that's really cool. Like, all those little animations are awesome. Like, I wish that DCL could get to that level, but I think it's too hard to play.
I also like the finisher moves that characters get.
Yeah.
When somebody's really low health and they kill them, they have a chance to proc a special animation.
Yeah.
And it's funny because one of those special animations for the female characters when they're hitting a male character is actually kicking them in the balls.
I didn't know.
And then the guy just slumps over and dies. It's funny as hell.
I haven't noticed that. But again, I don't like the combat. Not the combat system, but the animation in the combat system, because they are all dancing all the time, and you don't it's nice that when Yondu arrow it's targeted to some guy be on the, let's say, back line, the guys in the front line just dodge it by kneeling, because it allows the arrow to hit the guys in the back. That's nice to see, but you will get seizures because when there are 10 guys on the screen, because this game allows you to have more than 4 characters on the screen, which it's the one we are used on DCL. Yeah. When you have 10 guys on the screen and they keep dying and they're getting summoned again by Kingpin, Yondu or Nobu or whoever, you just don't understand.
What's going on?
Were you here the turn before? Did you spawn right now? Where did you pop out? And then that's the stupid Loki. I don't know if you played against him right now or if you still haven't found him. And there's the invisible one and the clone one. And no, he can clone characters. He doesn't clone himself. He can clone anyone. And so when he clones someone like, let's say, Winter Soldier, he's a mess to deal with, and double Winter Soldier is not something that you want to tackle. And one thing that I don't like about that game is beside the seizure side is the nameless guys. I know that
like the shield agents, the hand agents.
Yeah, I don't care.
There's so many random goons.
Yeah. Why can't be?
They had 65 characters in their release.
Yeah, we have 65
of which
in the game
30
DCL.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, we have over 80 at this point.
Oh, okay.
But 65 characters on release, of which over half are nameless minions.
Yeah. What the hell? Yeah, they could have used the
Shield Agent number 3, and I don't get to play with Gambit or Juggernaut or
I have
any other name character that you want to play with.
I have a conspiracy theory behind that. Now, think about what benefit does the company get if you increase the amount of characters like all at once. Now, what does that mean overall to a player when they want to sort of, let's say I want to work on Wolverine or I want to work on this one character? Where are you going to get their shards from other than farming, right? You get them from orbs, which is basically like their loot boxes, right? The more characters you have in game, the less probability you have to get that one character. So it directly benefits the marketing aspect of the company because we'll have to try and pull more than less, right? So that's my conspiracy.
But I think that's a bad aspect of the game.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. I think so too. But that's what benefits the company.
And if you thought DCL was a money grab, don't go look at the pricing of the power cores in Marvel Strike Force.
Yeah.
My God.
They're expensive.
Guys, please bear with me. What if the guy in let's say the nameless healer in the Marvel Strike Force, instead of being called nameless healer, Marvel Shield, whatever, why couldn't it have been named, let's say, the girl character from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? She is not let's say, well-known. Simon and Fitz, I'm talking about that.
Yeah.
So you have one character that's called Marvel's Agent Scientist and another that is S.H.I.E.L.D. Operative. Why couldn't they be... Yeah. Why couldn't they be Gemma Simmons and Leopold Fitz? They are not big name in the, let's say, in the MCU.
Character at that point.
No, you won't care about them unless you are that 100%. You will care about the mutant. You will care about the big names on the screen. I know that your reasoning about the dilution of the guys, it's important. But, it's like in DCL. Who cares about Chemo? Really, you are the only one I think that care about Chemo. And after you showed us how broken he can be, then everyone is on that boat. Same as Doomsday, it was like me, Doombox for obvious reason, and no one was let's say excited by having Doomsday on his game. Set apart the broken kit or whatever. Those are, to be honest, if Chemo toolset was, let's say, on Joker, wouldn't Joker be your character of choice? Or you really love, I'm playing Superman since the beginning. When he was crap, as soon as I had him at usable level, I used him. Because it's Superman. For me, it's important. And I would have bought and used Constantine at the same way. But if Chemo had the kit, let's say, of Yellow Lantern Sinestro, and Joker Damaged Goods had the Chemo kit, who would you have used all this time?
Probably Joker.
Well, to be fair, the reason that I have championed Chemo is actually because of the community and how much hate he got early on in the game. I had to prove to everybody that they were stupid.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's part of
I think that you proved
that's sort of what I was going to say here about what you're saying about these no-name characters. Well, I don't like them either, but what you're saying indirectly is saying that all we have to do is break, Shield Medic to show everyone how broken Shield Medic is, and then everyone will go play Shield Medic.
No. There's no point in breaking that, because
There's
the hand sentry, which is
hand sorcerer.
It's no. Hand sentry is a guy that it's a god level guy. It's not really usable because you cannot farm it easily at the start of the game, so you will have to find him at Nexus 7-3, okay? Yeah. Unless you pull it randomly. But
you can get him in raid.
Yeah. But the point is that he has block chance as a starter and boost damage, okay? It's a passive. And then he applies stealth to everyone and gave them evades up. And it's bonkers. It does shelve a lot of damage.
He's dumb good.
Yeah, it's a godlike level.
So,
and he's a minion.
You're saying, like, why is that guy not just like a named character?
Yeah, why is that guy? It could have been, let's say, a random brawler. You could even use, let's say, Mech from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., okay? Someone like that, because he gets in the front line, he sacrifices himself for the team, but you don't need to break another guy. We have already a nameless one, which is bonkers, and everyone uses it if they can, if they have him. So we don't have to wait and break one of them.
So I mean, in general,
well, here's something that I want to point out. Minions only have one active move, and then they're passive.
Nope.
Named characters have a basic, a special, and an ultimate ability, and then a passive. So they're actually down a skill level, or down a skill that they can use.
Just by being two abilities, don't they?
That's what I'm saying. They have a basic, a special.
Check Night Nurse. She has 4 abilities like everyone else.
She's a named character.
Night Nurse is named.
Night Nurse is a named character from a 70s comic.
Yeah, she's named.
Really?
Yeah, I know Night Nurse.
Yes.
She's a named character. She sounds.
Okay. Do you watch the shows on Netflix? Do you watch the shows on Netflix?
The one Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or
no, Daredevil, Jessica Jones.
Yes. Yeah.
So Claire is actually based on Night Nurse.
Yeah.
Okay,
so she was a named character in the comics long ago, and Claire is Night Nurse.
She's a niche character that not a lot of people know about, but she is a character. Yeah, I didn't. But also the way her name is, like Night Nurse, it sounds very generic. So I can see how you confuse that.
It does sound generic. Yes.
Yeah. Then why couldn't they call her Claire?
Because Claire isn't officially Night Nurse yet.
Claire is becoming Night Nurse. It's kind of like
but she's
not actually there yet.
Yeah, but it's Yeah, it's something that will make us understand that it's something worthwhile.
I actually had to look that up. Because, when I first I'm not as big into Marvel as I am into DC. But then when I was watching some of the shows, and I was like, this character seems familiar, and I figured like it was something like Night Nurse, but I didn't know that Night Nurse was a character before. But it just seemed like something I've heard about before, and I found out, Night Nurse is a character. Okay.
I didn't check it. In fact, I was saying that that's not really a thing, that the nameless character only has 3 skill, because I thought that Night Nurse was a nameless character.
No.
Also, just so that you in the future will know, she does not have the minion tag.
Oh, I didn't even check that.
Yeah. So
you can. So one thing that's actually kind of cool about Strike Force, you can actually sort your character inventory by their tags.
You can filter them, yes.
Yeah.
That would be cool if you could do that in DCL.
She is not a minion. Yeah.
Yeah. But but okay, let's not talk about too much about the characters. In terms of the game, like aspects of the game that you like, if you compare it to DCL, for example, anything like you like or dislike?
I've been told that from guys that played both game, and they are not, let's say, big DCL guys like DC Comics like me, and they are more, let's say, generic, that the PvE content has a grip on you. The story is more, I don't know what to say.
Entertaining?
No, it just pulls you in. It makes interesting to go on with the story. So the PvE content is nice to play with. And the shard availability, it's way better, because you will drop 2 times the shards from each node. If you just run 1 node, you will get 2 shards. If you are lucky, well, in DCL you will only get 1.
No. On the subject of the PvE, I agree with you that the writing is better. Like basically the way the story is written, it's more. It's kind of like you just want to know what's happening. Like you want to know what's going to happen next, so you want to keep playing. But then you hit a wall where you can't beat this team, so you have to level up your guys and then come back. So
that's weird. That's part of the game.
It's well progressed. It's well written. I agree with that. On the subject of shard availability, that kind of stuff for PvE content, the one thing that I really like about this game is the amount of PvE energy that's available. There's so much energy that you can get for free. So
it's the same as Summoner Wars. I always bring this game up. A point in a game, you are willing to spend money on a game if you can play for free. So the more you play for free, the more you are incentivized to spend to get the characters. Because if you
irony behind it,
it seems strange, because if I get to play, let's say 27 PvP matches in my DCL each day, I can burn through them in like 1 hour, and then I have to spend money to play with them. And if they in Summoner Wars, it was like this, and then they split the PvP energy into half an hour, which means that unless you pull your alarm at night, you will waste some energy, because you sleep, let's say 6 hours, and you are already over, because you will get 12 energy. But that means that you will play more, and then when a pack, let's say with your Constantine, is out, you are willing to spend the money on it. Because you will enjoy your character more. So people end up spending their gems or their money on the content just because they are able to play with them, with the energy the games provide us. And this is PvE energy or whatever. And I think that, let's say with Thanos Raid, they split it up, their energy. You can compare the Thanos Raid to the Blitz, okay? And here you can play your alliances, the challenges, which are, let's say, the gear event, for free. You can play the Blitz for a different currency. You can play the arena for a different currency. And these allow you to play more with the game and incentivize to keep you hooked up in the game. The only thing that it's horrible in this game, and I will tell about, from a streamer point of view, it's the content you can propose to the masses, because you can play PvP in the big one, the arena one, every once in 15 minutes. Or you have to spend gems, let's call them gems, instead of purple bonky things.
Power core.
Yeah.
Power core.
Yeah, but I was talking about the shape of the things.
Oh yeah. It looks like a battery.
Yeah,
something, whatever. You have to wait 15 minutes between a match and another, or spend currency just to play that. And when you are up your 5 chances each day, you have to spend more to get more. Yeah. So the PvE, the raids, the blitz are well done, because the blitz energy is easy to come by. Yeah. But the PvP, from a YouTuber's point of view, it's horrible, because you will stream 5 games, and you make them wait, and that's not something.
Here I have another conspiracy theory again about this game. So the reason why they put that restriction on PvE, in my opinion, is, if you think about it from a marketing point of view, it's genius, because the part of the game that you want to do the most, like over and over and over again, and to compete in sort of a competitive sense, is PvP. And then if they put that cap on it and that restriction that can be unlocked by getting power cores, which can be bought with real money, equals more money for them. So
I don't know if you know that it's the same thing that they are doing with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You are time gated on the PvP. You can fight once every 15 minutes, and you have let's say a limited amount of fight that you can do.
Now, from a sort of stability and balance point of view, there could be a reason for that time gating, because it actually restricts the amount of people pushing at a certain amount of time. Let's say, towards the next reset, right? So this it can be more controlled this way, so that they don't have like a bajillion people going crazy at the last minute and just pushing super hard at the end, because there's only so much you can do. However, it can also backfire on them, because the people who have big deep pockets are the ones that can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they will buy. And I don't know if this is well known, but in Star Wars and here, you don't have worldwide ladders. You have, let's say,
niche. Like time zone.
Yeah, no, not even time zone. Even in the time zone, there are separate pockets ladder. So you may end up top 1 in one ladder, and I can be top 1, because there are, those pockets where you can end up. And it's something that is good and bad at the same time, because I will maybe never compete with you guys in US or Japan, but it's something that allows everyone to get that spot where you can compete for the top tiers.
I will say one thing. The regionality of the game definitely seems like a real thing, because, for example, I'm not sure why it is, but Marvel seems to be a lot bigger in Japan than DC is. And in DCL, I know like a majority of the community, I haven't seen that many players from Japan other than like me and maybe like another couple of people. But in Marvel, when you're going up against blitz opponents or arena opponents, I've actually come across a lot of people with Japanese names, and like they're not people who are and you can tell by their names, they're not people who are just like people who happen to speak Japan or Japanese from another country and just rename themselves.
You mean the fanboys?
Right, exactly. These are people who actually are the reverse. They're probably Japanese people who are fans of Marvel, right? Because from the way they name themselves, you can tell from what it's like. I can read it. So, but these. And I see a lot of them in you can keep refreshing and you see certain names go through rotation, but then you see like 2 or 3 different people with different names, but they're all like Japanese names, for example, or even Chinese names, because I'm in sort of that region, right? So it is weird that there is sort of this regionality, as Dulaf's saying, about pockets in certain aspects of PvP or what have you. So that's quite interesting. So I'm not sure what the reasoning behind that is. I guess maybe it's sort of control the general populace. So,
Well, it allows you to give out more rewards.
That's true. That's fair.
That's
good for everybody.
Like here's my thing as a direct comparison to DC Legends. DC Legends has every aspect of Marvel Strike Force, as far as I'm concerned. And you may argue that, it has raids. Yes, it has raids, but technically DC Legends has hero challenges. So what?
You have
challenges are a lot more accessible.
No, wait. You have the hero challenges in there into the events. You had the Rocket Raccoon.
I didn't have a Rocket Raccoon.
We started on launch. You're a beta player.
Yeah.
No. Here's another thing that actually pisses me off about Marvel Strike Force. Apparently, there are players who had a Rocket Raccoon event that were launch players.
Yeah,
really?
It was at launch.
We didn't.
It was at
no,
launch.
it wasn't at launch.
I didn't have it at launch.
It wasn't at launch.
Yeah.
Random players got it.
Oh,
like a third of the community got it.
That's crappy. And you got the Thanos one, right?
Yes, everybody has the Thanos one.
Okay.
But as far as it goes, I had Elektra and Crossbones.
Yeah, and Black
no Rocket.
I don't have those because I didn't.
Black Widow was Blitz. Yeah.
Black Widow was Blitz, which is garbage.
I got the same as Ogre. I got Elektra and Crossbones. Yeah, that's it.
I got Elektra, Crossbones, and Black Panther. And the Black Panther during beta was bugged, and you just joined it, and it completed it himself. Oh. And I didn't get the chance to play it. I didn't get any shards or whatever. I didn't. So I just get your reward, which are nothing.
So I mean, it was like it wasn't there. So.
Yeah, it wasn't there. But the hero challenge are there in the event parts. Let's say I hope that the Rocket Raccoon is just a bug.
No.
Because I got it.
It's not a bug. They have actually responded saying that it is them testing the community or something like that. They want to gauge the marketability or something like that.
Oh,
yeah, they want to see if the community would enrage, right? Yeah.
That's poor. I don't like that. I don't like that type of...
It's BS is what it is.
I think it's an excuse for not admitting that we are...
If you're going to release it everywhere. If you're not going to release it, then don't release it. Like, that's just bad.
Right, no, that's the point.
Yeah.
Like, you either give it to everybody or nobody.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Why certain people are getting it and certain people aren't, I don't know. It's really stupid is what it is.
Yeah. So okay. Now...
It's also why players will get different offers. The special offers for money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody had the Cap deal when it first came out. When you first started playing, you get the Captain America deal. But then after that, there are players who are getting different offers.
So there might be different pricings to them, different things like content.
There are different pricing.
Oh, that's just weird. So I
don't know about it.
It's literally Marvel Strike Force taking advantage of the community.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was a thing. So, like, for example, if the game is super popular in China, where there's like a bajillion people with lots of deep pockets, and they realize that Chinese people love Black Panther, for example, they're going to release his pack at super exorbitant prices. Right? So
well, it's not even that. It's as of right now, it's like I haven't spent a penny on the game, but if you bought the Captain America pack, you probably had access to buy another 2 packs that I didn't even see.
I see. So basically, they're just saying, okay, this guy's buying, we're going to give him more stuff.
We'll give him special deals.
I see.
It's crap.
If that's what they're saying, then that's not cool.
At least that's what it seems like initially from the community. We haven't really figured out all the details of it, but that's what it seems like right now.
Let's give it a couple more. I'll give it a while to let it build on.
Right. No, I mean we haven't even been playing a full month yet. We haven't even been playing a full 30 days yet. Yeah. So I mean,
we'll see soon. We'll see how.
But you think that would be something that they would have worked out during beta?
I mean, I really hope that's not the case, but if it is, I can really see that being a big sour point against the company for the community. So
right, and here's another thing. It really seems like the Strike Force team is catering to the masses and not the gamers. They don't care about the gamers, it seems like, because they're just pissing off the gamers. They just want to reel in the casual players
or the general
who will spend.
Yeah.
Right, who will spend $10 every month just because.
Yeah.
That's the player they want to reel in. It's not that they want to reel in the hardcore gamers.
The one person's like, I went to watch Black Panther the other day. Oh, it seems cool. Oh, I found this game that has Black Panther in it. It's just like one of those.
Let me buy his pack.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, yeah, that's exactly what it seems like.
Okay. Well, I mean, we talked about this a little bit ad nauseum, so let's move on.
Let's kind of skip to the end.
On a related topic, talking about movies and so on and so forth, we're going to talk about Avengers: Infinity War coming up soon. We're not going to really spoil anything because there's not really too much to spoil.
We're not really going to talk about it, per se.
Don't worry.
What we're going to talk about more is our expectations for the movie, and not based on the trailers, based on what we know so far from other movies, let's say. So, going into this movie, we know that it's going to have pretty much all the Avengers in it that have been released so far.
Plus the Guardians.
Right.
Plus everybody.
Yeah.
And Wolverine.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to have the X-Men so far. I think Deadpool's working on that. He's working on getting the X-Men back into their license.
I actually think that Wolverine was a candidate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's another candidate they did talk about the issue with the merger with the Fox.
It's the license problem, yeah.
It's bling. It's let's say uses a board. You know what I'm talking about? It's shiny.
Silver Surfer.
It's yeah. I think that they were considering it, or maybe they haven't disclosed this present because it's the starter of it all, and it was something that they hinted about. So if he pops up, it will be awesome because they are going to reboot again the FF4 franchise.
God, I hope not.
I don't think that franchise needs more reboots. I mean, Jesus, do we really need? I mean,
well, to be fair, it just needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I mean the group that they had for the last.
It needs the Spider-Man treatment. It needs the Spider-Man treatment.
I like that. Yeah, the last Spider-Man movie was good. I mean, let's get.
Homecoming was amazing.
So let's talk about the characters,
and that's probably more because I'm a fan of Michael Keaton.
So I mean, let's talk about the characters that we know are definitely going to be in it. So we have Iron Man, Captain America, Ant-Man, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Thor. Who else?
What happened to Dula? Oh, there he is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
he had the same as I did.
Okay. Thor. Who am I missing here? I'm missing
all the Guardians.
All the Guardians. Vision.
Hulk.
Scarlet
Witch. Falcon. Hawkeye.
Yep.
Black Widow.
Mm-hmm. So. That's the majority.
Pretty much every character that it's been. The question comes down to: are the characters from the Netflix series gonna cross over?
Nope, never.
They're not. They confirmed that already.
Yeah.
No.
They said that the Netflix Defender series are not going to cross because they want to leave them, let's say, design space, while Peter Coulson will be back into the continuity.
Phil Coulson's coming back.
Yeah.
Cool.
But from what I've read, spoiler alert, it seems that he will be into the how she's called, the Jessica Chastain one, Marvel Girl. No. The new
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel.
Oh,
yeah, Miss Marvel.
Yeah, I heard about Miss Marvel too.
So it should be
Captain
in the
Marvel,
past.
Right?
Captain Marvel, yes.
Yeah, Captain
Yeah.
Marvel.
Or Shazam, if you want to call him.
Wrong franchise.
Okay. Sorry.
To be fair, if she played Shazam, I'd be watching that too.
Yeah.
So okay.
So he will pop up in that movie, as far as I know. But that movie is in the past.
Now,
yeah.
Now, what we're talking about in terms of expectations for this upcoming movie, we know that all of the people are going to be there. Now, let's talk about how these characters have been developed, right? Because all the Avengers have their own movies before. I mean, technically, you can say Captain America: Civil War was an Avengers movie. And then there's like 3 Iron Man movies, 3 Thor movies, 1 Black Panther movie, 1 Spider-Man movie. What am I missing?
2 Guardian.
2 Guardian movies, 1 Ant-Man movie,
And
there's going to be a second Ant-Man movie soon.
Supreme Sorcerer, the
Doctor Strange.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah,
Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And so there we go. Actually, we forgot Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. Probably,
I was cutting out.
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
One of my favorite ones.
Yeah, and I like Benedict Cumberbatch a lot.
Yeah,
he makes a great Doctor Strange.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So
honestly, I have to say, Marvel has cast characters throughout the entire MCU. I haven't disliked a single one. So.
You know the Sheldon theory about the Hulk, no?
The Sheldon theory?
No, what is it?
What's his theory? Hello? You're cutting out.
What?
Are you saying something? Can't hear you. I think he's having connection problems.
Yeah, he's having the same problems I did.
Okay. I'm not sure what it is.
Spoilers. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it seems like he just cut out there for a second.
Yeah, he just disconnected.
All right. Well, while he's trying to connect back again. All right. Are you there? I see you're back in. Okay. So
it takes a second.
We were
anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a really good movie. It's going to be amazing. Josh Brolin as Thanos is going to be absolutely nuts.
Which is weird. He was in the Guardians too. So he was a bad guy in the Guardians, wasn't he?
No, he was Thanos.
No, sorry, not.
He's been Thanos the whole time.
No, sorry, I'm thinking of a different movie. Not Guardians.
He's going to be Cable in Deadpool.
That's it. He did.
Okay, let's see if this works.
Yeah.
Can you
yeah, you're back on.
Right. You were talking about the Hulk.
Okay.
The Hulk Sheldon theory.
Yeah. Also, Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory has this theory that the first Hulk was nice because you get to know the character, and physically it did fit with him. Even though I love him, Eric Bana, and I love Jennifer Connelly, so that's a win for me. Even though the movie isn't that great. Okay. And then they introduced the Edward Norton Hulk. And but he's the best. He's a good actor, and he did something good
in that movie.
Yeah, but he said that it's better than the Eric Bana one, and
I disagree.
They said, and then that's his theory, and then they said, what this guy, this Ruffalo guy, Mark Ruffalo, that no one knows. Can give to the character, and then you see this Hulk, which is just it. It's perfect. It's the Hulk. Yeah. It's just awesome. Yeah. And as you said, I think that everyone that they have chosen for a role, it's perfect for that role.
All the casting perfect.
Yeah, all the casting was nailed.
I was skeptical about Nick Fury being Samuel Jackson, but it was.
Dude, you cannot.
No, but I mean,
you cannot doubt Nick Fury being comics, right? Samuel L. Jackson.
No, I mean, you didn't. It's such a different aspect of what you think Nick Fury was supposed to be, right? But then, he pulled it off.
No, it's exactly what I thought Nick Fury was supposed to be.
But yeah.
When before getting into the Avengers and Nick Fury and so on, when I heard that they casted Samuel Jackson, I was really wondering how is he gonna
portray the character
Nick Fury, because Nick Fury has a certain type of character. I thought, is he just gonna be typical Samuel Jackson all the time? And he kind of is, but then it turns out that's who Nick Fury is. So okay,
that's exactly what it is.
The only thing is that Nick Fury originally is not a black guy, but who cares?
It is mixed. It has been both back and forth.
Yeah.
Nick Fury has been back and forth, but that was why originally the Nick Fury solo movie was David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
And that's not something that you can beat. So let's remove that from our memory, because you cannot beat David Hasselhoff or Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
you cannot talk about.
This is getting on. Well, anyways, we're getting derailed a lot. So overall, what are we expecting from the movie? I think we're all expecting it to be great. Out of 10,
I'm honestly, this is just me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for Stanley's cameo to be the one that dies.
Oh,
No
I don't
other
think
Marvel
so.
character will die. Just Stanley's cameo.
I hope not. Speaking of Stanley, he's
No,
been
I'm
through a
just
lot of crap
saying.
recently, but
Oh, is he?
yeah,
I was just saying that it's funny because he's in every movie
yeah,
and he never has like died or anything.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
But it's the glue that keeps them all united.
well, no, it's the fanboy thing. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. But again, it would be fun if this.
But everybody's
happens.
expecting like 2 or 3 characters to die in this movie, right?
Yeah.
I don't-
Especially
So-
Cap.
Why not kill off Stanley's cameo? That'd be funny.
Yeah.
He's 95
And
too. There's not so many more cameos he can do, right? So
I already bought the tickets for the movie, so I will be there on 25 and in the afternoon. So as soon as I return to Rome, I will be at the movie.
there you go.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
I have to watch it a week later, so on the 30th, but we'll see.
For
I'm not
us,
sure
it's
when I'll be able to
national
watch it.
festivity.
Yeah.
For us, it's national festivity on the 25th, so I'm free to go in the afternoon with the kids,
Nice.
smash them down.
Hooray!
Cool. Okay, so it sounds like it's gonna be good. So let's move on, so that we don't get carried away too much with this series too.
Yeah, I have like 11% battery, so
Yeah. Okay. So, breaking news: there was a bit of a mishap in terms of YouTubing stuff because there was a YouTuber who went on a shooting spree in California at I think it was San Bruno. San Bruno is the headquarters of YouTube, I think. And
that is an actual city.
Yeah. So there was so basically, from what I was reading on the internet, basically this person, I think she's an Iranian American or someone with Iranian heritage. Saying that they were accusing YouTube of censoring, controlling her posts / videos, and preventing her channel from growing. And the general conspiracy theory is that she was saying, "Oh, your channel will only grow if they want it to," saying that she wasn't as successful as she could have been, and then she was upset with the way things are being controlled by YouTube. And I do get where she was coming from because I feel like YouTube does have a lot of controlling elements in place. And rightfully so, because they can't let people do whatever they want. So, but anyways, that's the gist of it. And then she retaliated by opening fire on a open terrace at the YouTube headquarters. So, injuring a few people. Thankfully, she didn't kill anyone. I think. But otherwise, yeah, that's the gist of it. What do you guys know about?
I could make so many bad jokes right here.
Let's try to keep it civil. But
yeah, I'm going to avoid the because she's a girl comment or the fact that she's Iranian altogether.
yeah. But what do you guys think about that situation? The whole conspiracy theory of YouTube controlling content and so on.
Well, I mean, the Logan Paul thing kind of brought to light that YouTube does have to have control because people are really getting out of hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Flat out. People are getting way out of hand with their YouTube content. I mean, come on.
Right.
Let's do something realistic here, not be an idiot. But unfortunately, people are going to be idiots. That's how they become famous.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you used the term open fire, and honestly, if you're going to open fire, use your words, people. I mean, come on.
You don't actually...
You don't need to grab a gun and start shooting people to make a point.
You can start a
Use your
protest.
words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be an activist of sorts, but you don't actually have to resort to violence.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It was sort of just like a sad, series of events, and the fact that she happens to fall into sort of what you were saying, that minority category of both of those minority categories doesn't help her case, right? So
No, it does not.
yeah.
To be honest, I didn't even know about it, but that's for different
I didn't
reason
either.
because, yeah.
Yeah.
I live in California. I didn't know about it, but I don't watch the news for any reason. So
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, we are all YouTubers in some sense, and we sort of fall into that category of how does this affect us? And we've been affected by the whole Logan Paul incident. The fact that it's harder for us to get to that next hurdle to unlock certain features and certain privileges that used to be a lot easier to get. So I'm just worried that something like this now could also have another side effect of making things harder for us too as content creators. What do you guys think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But to be honest, I think they can censor it up to a level. They cannot shut it down completely. So I don't think that it will be that aggravating for us, because they are already putting it 4K view and 1,000 subscribers, and how much more you can go.
Yeah. No, definitely.
They have to completely shut you down.
Now, what if...
And that's not something...
It wasn't detailed in the articles that I was reading, but what if, for example, the result of the changes due to the Logan Paul incident affected her? That was the case, and then she didn't really read much into it, and then thought it was YouTube censoring her. What if that was the case?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How many other people are in her same position that are sort of like in their own bubble, in their own mindset, and they're thinking that YouTube's out to get them? How many more incidents like this could happen?
Too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is sort of...
Honestly, I'm surprised it has happened before this.
Yeah. I mean, also, have you seen her videos? Like, if you guys would look this up afterwards, she makes really ridiculous stuff. Like, if we're criticizing, like, Logan Paul, like, doing ridiculous, stupid videos just to get views and likes, she's doing the same thing, and they're really just arbitrary, random stuff. And she even goes on in her videos saying that it doesn't matter what you put up on the internet, as long as you put stuff up, people will watch it, people will like it, you make money. Like, that's basically the whole point of her channel. Well, was her channel. Her channel is...
That's legitimately what a lot of YouTubers do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get where these people are coming from, but at the same time, we don't condone what they're doing. But it's sad that will affect us indirectly, because it'll make our hurdles that much harder to get to. So,
yeah,
it's sort of sad reality we live in. But, oh well, that's what it is. All right, well, let's wrap things up quickly with some questions, because we're really running over time today. But
it's 1:40.
Sorry,
yeah, it's all good.
Sorry, I'm one that talks a lot.
It's all good. It's no worries. So, in terms of the questions for the Osman, BG Bat asked, in terms of DC, now this is not DCL related, but DC related, should DC changed its name from DC to something else? Batman seems to be the main driving force in DC, and so many people complained about it. And he expanded on this a little bit. He said that like DC literally means Detective Comics, right? So
yeah, it is.
Comics was the beginning of Batman. Now, this being the anniversary of Superman coming up in a couple of months, Action Comics is what's
Action Comics,
right? Action Comics started Superman. Now, Action Comics or Detective Comics? Right?
Not really. It's a bit different, because Action Comics Superman started it all, but it was published in an order that made you suspect that Batman was the opener.
Sure.
So it's strange.
But I'm talking chronologically, right? I mean, if you're thinking about in terms of...
Yeah, but you get only so much information from them. I agree that Superman started it all because he was the first one, but they published Detective Comic as the first, I don't know what to say, continuator. The first paper was the first named one was Detective Comic.
Right. No,
and Action Comic came after that.
Right. What I'm saying is that they just happened to pick Detective Comics as their brand, right? That's the name that they went with. What he said is that should we rename it to something else, because is Batman of their franchise, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They should not rename it.
They shouldn't rename it.
They should not rename it. They're at a point where if they rename it, they should have done it years ago.
Right.
Like decades ago.
Definitely, if you
they are just
at this point, you can't rename it.
If you think about things in terms of brand marketing, there's certain things of a company that's set in stone that you can't change anymore. Like after a certain period of time, you have a window, and if you miss that window, it's gone. Like basically, you can't do it anymore because it's too set in stone at that point. So I agree with that. Now, if we were to change it, what would you change it to? If you could change it, let's say. Would you change it to Action Comics, for example? Would you change it to Superman and Friends?
You know what? It's fitting because Batman is all in black. and we're talking about Action Comics and Detective Comics. So we have AC/DC Back in Black.
I like that. I like that. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. That's
So we have a theme song at least.
Yeah. Okay. So with that question,
Nothing to add.
Because we were talking about Marvel Strike Force earlier, and we are all DCL creators. Hate Mail asks, do you think Marvel Strike Force and DC Unchained is hurting DCL? Now, I'm going to talk about DC Unchained since I'm the only one who actually played it. I'm going to say for a fact that you cannot compare DC Unchained to DC Legends. It's very, very different. Very, very different games. And
It's like comparing. It's the old comparison of Future Fight.
It's like comparing like Final Fantasy to Zelda. They're action
Well, I mean, it's the same thing that people were doing earlier.
Yeah.
When Marvel Future Fight and DCL, you can't compare them. They're different games.
Yeah. Now
You can compare Future Fight to Unchained.
I will say
You can compare Strike Force to DC Legends.
if you are comparing, for example, within the same franchise, for example, DC related games, DC Unchained to DC Legends, for example, I can understand that now. I'm going to say
No, I don't even understand that one. They're not the same genre.
No, I'm not talking about the genre now. Now, what I'm talking about in terms of content. Now, what I'm saying in terms of content, like, for example, I want to play a game that has a certain character, for example. Most of the characters...
You want to play with Superman, you have to choose.
Yeah, but I'm saying, for example, let's say I'm a DC fan like of a very niche character, like, let's say, in the Aquaman family of Ocean Master, for example, right? Ocean Master's in DC Unchained. But I'm going to say this. The gameplay is not up for debate here, but the content. Now, I really hate the animation of DC Unchained, like to a different level. Like, if we're complaining about Marvel Strike Force looking cartoony, this is ridiculous. This is like if you took like some random Japanese animator, and not a good Japanese animator, not like someone who animated Dragon Ball or something. This is some guy who just like came out of animation school in Japan. And it's like, here, you're going to animate this whole like comic book series. That's what that looks like to me. Because it looks
Who has no idea what they actually look like?
It looks really weird. It just looks really bad. And to be honest, though, like there's costume changes and toggles and stuff, and it just looks. It doesn't hold me. It doesn't make me feel like I'm playing a DC game. I feel like I'm playing some weird like Japanese mashup of.
Honestly, the first trailers and stuff that I saw of it looked like a knockoff.
Yeah, no, exactly. I felt the same way. It felt like it was made in China type of thing, right? Well, it's made in Korea, but you know, that it's a
well, no, but that's what I mean. It felt like it was supposed to be a knockoff. It felt like it wasn't supposed to be DC.
Yeah, and it happened to be backed by Warner Brothers, which is the surprising thing. Like so. Anyways, so that's the main thing that I don't like about the game. And now, if we get into gameplay about DC Unchained, it really didn't hold me. I played it for maybe 10 to 20 minutes, and I put it down. After, like, I get notifications on my phone saying your thing is full or you have this thing unlocked, and I go and do my daily things, and I'm like, this is boring. So I uninstalled the game after a week. So
that's how I did with Future Fight.
Yeah. So
like, I couldn't. It's just the gameplay is so much different and so boring.
If you're a fan of DC Legends, you probably won't be a fan of DC Unchained, unless there's like a DC element of the game that DC Legends doesn't have. And I can understand that. So if there's that one thing that you want, then that DC Unchained has that will keep you in it, sure. But you're probably in like that 1%. 99% of people who play DC Legends will not like this game, I think. So. But in terms of Marvel Strike Force, what do you guys think about that potentially hurting DCL?
I think it will on the long run, beside of the fan base. If you are a DC fan, you will stick to DCL even if it's crappy. But if you don't care about Superman and you will play any game at the moment, I think that you will get way more for your bucks if you spend it on Marvel Strike Force, and it's a sad thing to say, because as I said, the way more energy that you will get, it will allow you to unlock more heroes, the one that you maybe want to play and level them up. There is already so many good things. Let's say the excess shards, it will be traded for the monster character in the game, which is Ultimus. So if you have your 10 million world greatest detective, let's say they will give you Darkseid. And all those things are making many friends of mine realize that DCL is a doomed game if it doesn't change, let's say, soon. Because the PvE, it's stale. You do nothing. The event you will do once, and there's no joy in it. Red Alert is a chore. The only thing that is sustaining PvP, sustaining DCL, is PvP. And the PvP, it's not really in a good state right now, besides the ability to play with everyone, because of the star system and the thing that we talked about before. So the guys like me with a bunch of Gear 11 are disincentivized to level up more guys. I wanted to level up Medfield. I even tried right now how far I can get him, and then I realized that it will hinder my PvP more. Okay. So why do that?
So I want to say something counter to what you're saying, but before that, I want to let Ogre say what he thinks.
Yeah, I will finish in a second. Sure. So if you are not a comic fan and you don't care what's on your screen, if it's a Zelda character or a Final Fantasy strategy game, because it's where it all started. Many people will buy more into MSF. I've already friends that are considering spending money on MSF and that are free to play on DCL since they started. So that's something you have to consider, because they seems to get more. The thing that I said before, you can play more of a game, so you will spend on it. If you can't do that because you are time gated or whatever, you will just pass on it. That's all.
Okay. So, Ogre, what do you think?
Well, so Marvel Strike Force is one of those games that I think in the near term, it will steal some players away from DC Legends. However, because Marvel Strike Force is more geared to the general populace, it's going to draw in a lot more players who are going to become bored of it more quickly. Mm-hmm. Now, at the same time, those players will find out about DC Legends because they'll be liking the gameplay style. And hopefully, as players start exiting Marvel Strike Force for whatever reason, they'll find DC Legends. So in the short term, I do see a decline, as we've started to see a little bit of in the community here and there. And then over the next 6 months or so, I expect DC Legends to actually become more popular because of Marvel Strike Force. And they're going to have a bit of a symbiotic relationship in the end.
Yeah.
But if I came from Marvel Strike Force today and I never played DCL, I will go there and find raids. I will say, would I have to spend my my money, because it's money in gold in MSF, to run the challenge event? And then you will play a couple of weeks, and then you will quit.
I disagree. I find that DC Legends is far more forgiving with their events. I find Marvel Strike Force a little more forgiving when it comes to getting gear. However, getting shards is a pile of junk in Marvel Strike Force. You said earlier about it being 2 per, and yes, that's true, but you're also limited on the number of charges you have. You get all this free energy, sure, but you're spending way more energy in campaign nodes. Also, there's far less farmable characters because there is no heroic mode. Every 3 parts of the level, every third part is a boss node, and that's where you farm the characters. There's a very limited number of nodes you can farm from.
In normal mode, you cannot farm nodes in DCL, so you have to compare the normal mode for MSF to the heroic mode of DCL. You can farm, let's say, Dot of Fate from a single node, and you will have 3 tries, and you will get, if you are lucky, 3 shards each day. While if you are lucky,
right.
you will get 10 shards.
We're getting to a point where we're comparing too many elements because this question's going to get really, really long and really in depth here. Now, I do agree.
My main point that I want to make is that power cores, yes, they give you power cores, but everything is so exorbitantly priced for power cores that they evaporate and it doesn't matter. Whereas gems, you get gems quite frequently in DCL, and they seem like they go a little further.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Okay, now, while I agree with both of what you're saying, what Ogre's saying and what Dolof is saying, now both of you make valid points. What I'm thinking, it's kind of like what Ogre was saying. In the short term and in the long term, both these games will have different effects on each other. Because DCL was there first, so it has that first comer's advantage in terms of this style of RPG based game, right? But Marvel Strike Force being a newcomer, now you have to sort of think of where they're coming in from. They have to come into a market that's already established, right? They have to have confidence in themselves, knowing that they're going to be different, setting themselves apart for them to be able to compete. Otherwise, there's no reasonable point for them to come in and compete, right? So what I'm thinking is that DCL, for the very short term, as Ogre was saying, might suffer a little bit. Some players will go over there, experiment, see what the hubbub is about. At the same time, in the long run, some players who are used to a certain thing and think, MSF is too chaotic or whatever, I'm gonna concentrate more on DCL. I could definitely see that happening. At the same time, players that were Marvel fans, but maybe they knew, like the opposite of me, for example. I'm more of a DC fan, but I know of Marvel and I know a decent amount of Marvel. The reverse of me, someone who's really into Marvel but knows some of DC, will find DCL. You know what I mean? So that's sort of what Ogre was saying too. So these two games can mutually benefit each other in the end, in the long term. So I'm not saying that Marvel Strike Force is going to kill DCL, and I don't think that DCL is probably going anywhere. And I don't think DCL is really going to affect Marvel Strike Force because it was there first, right? So it comes down to where they're going to be at the end of the day. I don't think that DCL is ever really going to come down as a result of
I'm not saying that. In fact, there are other games like Star Wars, Galaxy of Heroes,
right.
Which is still played. No one quit because DCL was out, or
exactly.
Maybe someone did, but you have so many things to do in there, and you can still play.
Yeah.
And to me personally, I started playing DCL. And then I moved to other games like Star Wars and Summoner's War. And after a little bit, even just, in Main Alliance, I did started playing Summoner's War. He enjoyed it. He even thought of spending money on it. And we both realized that it's just worse, even though they give more energy or whatever. We just did quit that game because of various reasons. So MSF at the moment has the advantage of being new and pulling you from the movies, because if you're not a comic fan, you will recognize Batman and Superman, but you don't know who is this Sinestro guy unless you saw that movie. Why?
I'm sorry.
To be honest, I liked that movie.
It wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible as everybody said it was, but it wasn't great.
I like all Ryan Reynolds movies, so.
Yeah. And
okay.
So just to cut it short, Marvel has a bigger presence in the movies department. So that's the pool that from a general no one, it's more interesting to play that game than this one. There's been Black Lightning series on CW, and we didn't see a Black Lightning character here. There's a new show out, and we didn't see it. So it's the marketing aspect of the Warner Bros. That seems lacking, at least. That's the only issue.
That's a little bit of a separate issue in terms of characters. But now what I'm thinking about in terms of these two games, one of the things in business that we think about when we think about two different companies, for example, in the same market, is that in the end, you think of your competitor as a virus or something that's gonna be there to kill you in the end, but it's not always true. One of the best things for growth is competition that we learn in business. So for both of these games, they can learn from each other, realizing where their faults are. As we were saying, for example, some people complain about DCL not having raids, not more stuff to do with DC, and Marvel Strike Force has this and that. At the same time, there might be things in DCL that Marvel Strike Force doesn't currently have, for example. And then they can mutually benefit from each other. I'm not saying they're going to steal stuff from each other, but there are certain things that are, obviously intellectual property. But at the same time, there are things that they can learn from each other to make each other better, which will help each other grow. So hopefully,
they're going to spur each other on.
Exactly. So I don't think that it's going to be a long time until we see raids in DCL, and I don't think it's going to be a long time in, for example, in Marvel Strike Force that we're going to see, something like red alerts, less of the I guess Blitz is kind of like what they're saying red alerts is like, but it's not exactly the same, right?
I would say Arena is actually like red alerts and Blitz is more like PvP.
Sure. Whatever the case may be, there might be something new that DCL releases that it's not in Marvel Strike Force, and at that time Marvel Strike Force adopts something similar to that too. So I can see these games both growing with each other. So that's where I think, thinking,
Absolutely.
finding the silver lining.
Let's hope it.
So yeah. That's where we're like. So on that note, let's wrap things up because we went a total
yes, please. I'm down to 3%.
An extra hour overtime. So okay.
Sorry, guys.
It's all
I'm Logan right.
It's all good.
No worries. It was the game talk part that actually went really long, but okay.
We had a lot to say.
Yeah, there was a lot to say. There you go. So with that, that brings us to the end of Lame Talk for this episode. Just want to thank everybody for listening and participating.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, as we said, Doom couldn't be here for this part, so it was just the three of us. But thanks for Doom for hanging out for the first part. Thank you, Duloth, for being on the show. And
thank you, guys.
Hooray!
Any last words, Oker, Duloth?
I hope these are not our last words.
I mean, for the show. Sure.
To wrap up the show.
Yep.
Yeah. No. Again, you know how much I love this game, and I hope it can grow. And they will give us a Lanternmon, or I don't care about the Titans, but I know that people want Starfire or whatever. It's that, but let's cut it. No last words. Let's love more this word.
Okay.
Don't make me start again, please.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go to bed, and then I will catch Dulof on his stream tomorrow morning.
Cool.
No, there won't be any stream today because
stream tomorrow?
It's today for me. It's in 5 hours.
Well, yeah.
Because I'm at my parents and I won't be able to stream. I'm here for a family situation, so I prefer to stay with them instead of streaming.
Okay.
All right. So no stream today.
I will stream. I think that I will stream on 25. But there will be strange stream, and then on Sunday I will start maybe with a long run because I want to test stuff.
So Duloth usually posts when he's going live on Reddit. So if you guys, or on Discord if you're there too. So if you guys want to know when he's going to be on, he'll just check Reddit every now and then, and you'll see a post from him. All right. So you guys can check him out on his YouTube channel at youtube.com/c/the Duloth Experience. And again, for us, if you haven't already, follow us on social media at Twitter, Facebook, and SoundCloud at The Oddsman. And if you like what we're doing here, then you can follow us on Patreon to support us at patreon.com/The Oddsman. And just like Duloth, we have our own YouTube channel at youtube.com/c/The Oddsman. And with that, we'll say goodbye. All right. Thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Hey guys, this is Seth Rogen. I wanted to give a huge shout out and thanks to everyone for listening. Catch us when we go live on Discord and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and SoundCloud at The Oddsman. Feel free to check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/The Oddsman for a variety of opportunities to help us grow and provide better content. Thanks again for your continued support, and as always, enjoy and grind on.